In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the free building information model viewer BIMCollab Zoom. BIMCollab Zoom has a full version and a free version, and the full version is meant to be used for both reviewing the design solutions, BIM coordination, communication, quantity takeoff, and other functions. But the free version, which I'm going to show you today, is also very good for design review, communication functionality, and it's especially useful if you're a client. And the main file format that BIMCollab Zoom uses is the IFC format. IFC is a file format, and you can compare it to PDF. Documents are usually made with tools like Microsoft Word, Google Docs, but not always the document receiver has these tools to open the documents, and not always these receivers should be able to edit these documents. That's why you have a PDF format, which you can open in both your browser or in specific desktop tools, but PDF is usually not editable, or it's only editable slightly with a few functions like commenting and markup. It's quite similar with building information models. You can create BIMs using different tools, for example, Revit, Tekla, and many others. And usually those are paid tools, meaning that you cannot open the model if you don't own the tool. And here comes the IFC format. You can export to IFC from most of the authoring tools such as Revit and Tekla, and then you can open the IFC in different IFC viewers. There are some that work in the browser, most of them are desktop tools, and they have different functionalities to view and communicate with the issues found, and each of them has their pluses and minuses. BIMCollab Zoom is one of these free desktop viewers, which you can download in the BIMCollab website. To use this tool, you need to create an account, and you can do it for the first time when you open the software which you have installed. BIMCollab Zoom has 4 main areas. So first one is the top area, and here you have different tools to open models, navigate them, measure them, and so on. These tabs here contain basically the same functions as you have in this area here. So, and also you can use different keyboard shortcuts to access these different tools. Then here on the left side, you have some additional tools which are related either to navigating the models, viewing the hierarchy. Then you have other tools which are, some of them are included in the paid version, like the conflicts tool and lists tool, but also there is an area where you can communicate different issues. Here on the bottom side you have the properties area where you can view, in the navigation view you can view object properties, and here where the blue screen is visible, it's the main area. You will be able to view the models which you have inserted inside BIMCollab Zoom. There are several ways you can open a model inside BIMCollab Zoom. So here on the left side, you can press File and then Open. You can press this folder button here, or you can press keyboard shortcut Ctrl+O. There are several file formats that BIMCollab can open. So first one is the native file format BCP. So these are the files which are created by BIMCollab Zoom, and they usually contain the different markups or views that you create using this tool. Also, of course, during coordination, the coordination issues and so on. The main file format that BIMCollab works with is the IFC file format, but you can also open, together with IFC files or separately, point cloud file formats, so E57, BTS, TXT, and XYZ formats. To open models, you can either open one by one, or you can just select all of them and press Open. All your open models will show up here on the left side in the navigation tab. So here you can see all the separate models. If they are in one coordinate system, they will nicely align, and you will have this federated model which contains all the different disciplines. Here, this hierarchy, you can press these small buttons here and see the different groups and layers which this model has been exported to. So the information which shows here is dependent on how the models were made and also how the models were exported. In this case, there are several options, and here you can see, for example, split between levels. If I would press on any of these, I can see the elements attached to these levels. And then I can use visibility functions to, for example, show the elements in this level. And you can also press even more here and see the specific separate objects inside this level and inside this object group. That's not the only way you can view the objects. And here you can press the type tree and you would have all the different types of elements you have in this model. This works nicely if the models are exported correctly, meaning that there are possibilities to create something like, I don't know, windows with other tools, like maybe door tools, and then there is this possibility that this does not display correctly. So it much depends on how the author of the model has created and exported these elements. There are several options you can toggle visibility of the objects or even whole disciplines or groups of objects. So one of them is, for example, right-clicking any of these groups here, or you can go back to the model tree and, for example, click a whole discipline. Then you can right-click, show hide component, or press the space bar and it will hide a whole discipline model. You can then press here this button, show all, to get back to the starting view. Another option is using these buttons here called My View. So in this case, what I can do is select specific objects. So let's say I'm gonna select these windows. And then I can use this equal sign to set these windows to my view. So what it means, it creates a group with these elements. I can add at any time to this group additional elements. So let's say I want to add some additional windows to this group. Let's zoom in a bit. Well, it doesn't work that well. Like this, here and here. Then I can press the plus button and it will add the selection to this group. Here you can see the previously selected windows and the new ones I have added. So of course these can be different groups and I don't need to separately add these elements. I can use the object tree or model tree and just add whole groups of elements. And once again, I can show all and I can just quickly get back to this view by pressing this button, show my view. This other button here will allow me to show rest of the elements, so the ones not in the my view section as dimmed. And here this arrow will restore the view, meaning it will delete all the objects I have saved in my view. And several other methods to toggling visibility is using this tool here. So here, if the models have been exported correctly, you can quickly hide different model groups. For example, I can quickly hide walls. In this case, it shows me also spaces. I can hide those, roofs, and so on. And if the model is exported correctly, then I can use this functionality very easily. Finally, I can just simply right-click any element, or by holding Control key, selecting multiple elements, then right-click and then just show hide component like this. I can also do the same by pressing these buttons here. So show hide selected, the same function, or another function is here, setting these objects transparent like this. So the navigation of the model is usually done using the mouse. So if you press the left mouse button and hold it, you will see this red dot, and it's a center point where the model will be orbited around when you hold and move the mouse. Another option is to press the middle button of the mouse, and then you're able to pan the model Then you can use also the mouse wheel to zoom in and zoom out. And basically those are the main functions to navigate the model, but there will be some additional tools I'll show you in a moment. Here on this top side, there are a few more additional tools you can use. So here you can switch between perspective and orthographic mode, meaning that usually the model is in perspective mode, which is a bit more easier to understand, but if necessary you can switch to orthographic mode. This is usually good for looking at sections and floor plans at a perfectly perpendicular way. And here in this group, the final tool to show you is the fly mode. So fly mode is a great way to simply walk through your building. And here by pressing this fly mode, I can use, so if I press the left mouse button, I can look around the model, and then I can use the either keyboard arrows or WASD buttons on the keyboard and then just fly through the model. I can change the speed. I can also use the mouse wheel to move a bit faster, but this is a great way to review your design in 3D. Simply go into all rooms. This tool allows you to just go through walls and look at this separate rooms without any problems, and also you can fly up and down to the second floor if necessary. So here in the middle are some other tools you can use. So first one is dimension tool. It works fairly simply. You press, there are basically no other option, just one dimension tool, press it, and you can snap to different either intersections, planes, or just simply points in any, on any plane, and then make a measurement in this 3D environment like this. You can make, if you want, multiple measurements, and these measurements are displayed in 3D, so sometimes you need to have a look whether they are displayed correctly. You can delete by pressing right-clicking on the dimension and pressing either delete on keyboard or right-click and delete dimension, and try to create another one which is maybe better. You can also press here delete all dimensions if you want to remove all the dimensions instantaneously. So the next tool here is the markup tool. Markup tool also works in 3D environment, meaning that you can create lines, clouds, and so on, even text, showing it in the 3D environment. So it works like, for example, I'll click this arrow, and where I click, this is the plane of this wall, and it will create or draw this arrow on this plane. And if I move around in 3D, then this arrow is placed on this wall. In case there are some problems by creating these markups in the 3D environment, there is one other option you can use, which is, let's say I'll choose the arrow again, and you can press and hold the shift button, and it will create the annotation perpendicularly to your view. And this might be sometimes useful because placing these annotations in 3D environment can be quite tricky. So here you can also see another tool. It's called property stamp. What it means is that you can create a 2D stamp which will show the ticked parameters. So there are several options you can choose, also how it displays, and then when you choose this tool and press an element like this wall, it will create this 2D property stamp. So the information you can choose from, of course, this depends on what is available inside the object, and of course the visibility is, sometimes it can cause you problems to view this stamp. Regarding annotations, you can also change the line style, the colors, also the type of lines, and here you can also delete all the annotations if you want. Finally, here is the set color tool. This tool allows you to paint different objects inside the model. So let's say I select this table and I want to paint it yellow. Well, this functionality is sometimes useful to maybe change the statuses of the object, like to mark green what is built or what is bought, or maybe some other functionality, just to help you more easily identify object groups like, let's say, plumbing, sewage pipes, and so on. The next group of tools is located here on the right side. So first three are related to navigation, zooming basically. So here the first one is to zoom out to the home view. Here you can zoom to selection. So let's say I'm going to select this object here. When I press this button, the camera will zoom in to this object. I can also select these objects here in the navigation section. And another tool here regarding zoom is this zoom to area. So basically it allows me to draw an area and zoom to this area. If necessary, I can repeat this and zoom to this area of which I have chosen. The next one here is the ability to quickly rotate the model or rotate the view. So this works properly if the model has been oriented in a specific way. If not, it might not work as expected, but then you can use this look to perpendicular. So what it allows you is to quickly change the camera to perpendicular view of a specific object you select. So let's say I'm going to select this foundation here, and it rotates the camera perpendicular to it. Another important tool is creating the section plane. So by pressing this tool, I can choose an object and or basically the plane, and it will create a section plane above this object. Then I can select this plane. When it turns a bit purple, then I can move it up or down. I can also add additional planes here by pressing again the same button. Then I can choose a different plane and create a second one if I want. I can delete a specific plane, the one I have highlighted. I can just press the delete button. I can delete all section planes if I want. I can also hide them or suspend them. That means that just it doesn't delete them. I can return to them, but basically I can resume the section plane I had. One other neat tool is, which I skipped, is this toggle automatic floor plans. This tool allows you to create automatic 2D floor plans based on some of the object information and also the parameters included inside. So you have here, I could see that from room objects, so the boxes which represent the room, it reads the room number and room name. And well, one very convenient function is that it is able to read the door opening direction from the parameters or attributes inside the element. So this is something that can help you to understand how the doors, which direction they open, and maybe understand whether you can place some furniture there or not. Finally, in this area here on the right side, it's the search tool. So I will just turn back to normal view, delete all section planes, zoom out, and here I can write either a parameter or like an object group, and it will quickly highlight those objects. Let's say I'm going to write wall, and here it shows all the elements that has a parameter called wall inside. So I can use any function, but this also depends on how the objects are made. If a wall is made with some other tool, which is possible, then this might not work properly. So the next zone of tools is located on the left side. We went through the navigation zone here, but there are several others which are available in this free version of BIMCollab Zoom. So let me turn on back the visibility. One of them is called Smart Views. So Smart Views is a way to save different views for future use, and you can return to those views anytime you have, for example, a model update, and these views are based on like search functionality. So let me show you how it works. So here, by pressing Add Smart View, I can name it first. So let's say I want a group that contains all the walls. So what it will do is every time I launch this Smart View, it will show the elements I have selected here in this list. So there are many ways you can select. Basically, the selection is made from attributes you choose. So in this case, I will choose under building elements, I'll find wall here. I can use specific properties, maybe specific wall types if I want, or other values inside. And here's the function. So I can either add the elements to the view, I can remove them from the view, paint them, set transparency, and so on. So let me choose this, just the function add. And here I can test the view by pressing this play button. And here it will display this only the objects I have selected. I can press save. This group will be saved. Here I can see walls group. So let me turn back the full visibility like this. And then let's say I have a new model and I can again want to view the walls for some purpose. I can quickly go back to the smart views, press these walls, and this will show my saved object view. So these two sections, conflicts and lists, they're available in the full version, so the paid version, but here the issues section is also very important and very convenient. And here you can save screenshots and comments about all the issues you have found during, let's say, the design review process. So how it works, once again, I'll turn on, maybe let's hide the spaces. And here I can zoom in, let's say, in any area, and press this plus button, and it will create a screenshot, which is not just a screenshot. I'll explain in a moment. Here you can name the issue. You should usually try to explain what's the problem in the title. Let's say, you know, the terrace is too small. You can add additional description or set priorities, but for maybe small buildings it's not that important. And then you can just press save, and here it will show up here in the issue view. So I can continue working with this, creating other issues. You can also add markup in the 3D environment, and it will show up. And what is cool about this is that you can, let's say, receive a new model, or you want to return to this issue, you can just double click this picture and it will rotate back to the original view. But what is also cool is that you can there are several ways how you can give these issues for a different party, which is either you can save this BCP file format and give the full model to the responsible party, or you can use here these 3 lines and save a BCF format. So BCF format will be a format that will contain these views, but this BCF can be opened with a plugin also in many of the authoring tools, or the tools where the models were created, meaning that the architect can open his architectural model inside his tool, let's say Revit, and then he can import this BCF file, and he will see the same screenshots here. And if everything works correctly, then he'll also be able to just click the views, and the camera will rotate to the issue, so he doesn't have to manually locate and search for the issue. And finally, I want to show you in the navigation bar here, you can find the properties group here. And what it allows you is to view the different properties that are inside these objects. So once again, it very much depends on how the object has been made and what properties have been added, and also how it has been exported to this IFC format. So you have different groups here you can use, and you can find different information here. Once again, it doesn't mean that all this information is 100% correct, because there are, you can make models in the wrong way, you can export them with sometimes wrong or false information, but well, most of the time this information should be okay. So here you can see wall types, for example. You can find some location information, where the element's located, some material information in this case. You can see the different layers of the elements, and so on. Also, most likely you will be able to find some quality information if it has been exported. So these are the main functions of the BIMCollab Zoom free version. So as you can see, there are many useful tools, especially for homeowners, developers, also contractors and designers, to view, communicate, and improve the buildings in many different ways. So if you like this video, please subscribe and check out my blog at smallbim.com for many other useful tips for using these new technologies for especially small homeowners.